The new Meat Eater Outdoor Cookbook Wild Game Recipes for the Grill, Smoker, Campfire, and Camp Stove is out on April 24th and is available for pre-order now. Here is your book for everything that's best cooked or eaten outside. From grilling to open fire cooking to Dutch ovens to smokers to barbecue to backpacking meals to how to pull off the perfect fish fry, with pit stops along the way for lessons about Ice Age cooking methods and the best 5 ways to construct a cooking fire you can be proud of. And of course, we're focusing on wild game and fish here with over 100 recipes, including stuffed venison burgers 3 ways, wild duck with ahi verde sauce, a jerky made with cola, a gin and tonic made with fire-charred lemons, and grilled frog legs made with a sticky sweet sauce. This ain't your normal cookbook, so be prepared to be surprised. Pre-order your copy now. For more info, visit themeateater.com.
Hey, I'm KC.
I'm Tyler.
I'm Isaac.
And I'm Greg.
And this is the Element Podcast.
Close enough. Hey, it works.
I want to see your band now, though, because I want to see.
Me.
I want to see your rock.
See me rocks
Are
out.
you recording? We should be
Yeah, we're rolling.
Okay.
Yeah. So, King Country is like still doing stuff.
We're still doing stuff.
Yeah, it's good.
Not as much stuff as we were pre-COVID, but
Yeah, it's hard on the live music scene, huh?
yeah, COVID was pretty hard on the live music scene.
Yeah.
At King Country Hunts. Is that it? No, that's
That's
just your
my
personal.
personal.
That's
Yeah.
one of the better Instagram handles. Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. King Country
it's-
Hunts.
Covers it all.
Yeah.
Our band was called the handle was King Country Attacks,
Oh.
Yeah, I remember.
and so to do the hunting stuff I did
Yeah.
King Country Hunts.
That's
So-
cool. Yeah. Isaac, what's your band experience?
Oh, man. I mean, I've played guitar forever. Had a couple bands in high school, and, we probably sucked. We thought we were awesome.
Did you play garage emo?
Yeah, they were just rock bands,
Yeah, dude, that's
emo
cool.
bands, and then played through college. Like, actually, kind of gigged enough to not have to get another job, I guess, and that was mostly like the church scene. Playing conferences.
It's cool.
I wanted to get into that for a while there,
It was great.
but it's hard to, like, if you're in the right circle, you're in it. But if you're not, if you don't know, at least for us, we didn't really know anybody that could put us in those circles.
Yeah. So we are in a hotel room in South Central Texas, and we are podcasting with the Element Crew. This is the formal introduction of Greg Latham as one of our fall interns. Greg's been around, been a part of the Element for over a year now, just kind of as a liaison of sorts. But he's going to be hanging out with us a bunch this fall.
That word always strikes me as like, when I hear that word, I'm like, this is bad, but there's like a word that's similar to that it's escort. That's what I always think of.
Those are so far apart.
And the way you said it, too, is kind of like, what does he mean by that? What does Greg do around here?
Yeah.
My goodness.
What did I get into?
Well, your liaison is like you're being the middleman between you and your girlfriend, who's a really good cook. So that's what we. That's
what
it's all about networking.
That's what you are really trying to get at.
Right. That's right. We'll get to tacos. And so we're here with Greg, and we got Isaac Smith, my brother from Other Mothers, and he's y'all know Isaac from Vector, and we've been out doing some shooting today.
Yep.
And Isaac can shoot lights out, guys. I don't know if y'all know this or not. He smokes stuff.
KC did pretty good, too, there at the end.
Well, Tyler likes to talk about being a gamer, and I was a gamer today for sure. Yeah,
You were.
honestly
After the game.
There's I was more of like a Nick Folk type, where
Same
like you
game.
just got to have them right there at the end, or Vinatieri or whatever. I'll take that. But we went out and shot Total Archery Challenge today.
San Antonio.
Yeah, that's fun.
It was a blast.
I
None of us have ever done that event.
No,
It's totally challenging.
was it?
And KC apparently has never even shot a 3D target.
No, not until today.
Ever.
Isn't that wild?
Just live deer. Tons and tons of live deer.
Well, I don't know about tons. I've shot quite a few. Shot a lot of pigs, but like mostly like bag targets is what I've always shot in my life.
Yep.
And then the past few years I've been shooting foam blocks of some sort because I like to shoot broadheads.
Sure.
I kind of approach that kind of weird. You and I've talked about this a little bit, but like I like to shoot kind of a big fixed when I'm practicing because it makes you be the best you can. And then when I get out there, if I am shooting a mechanical, it's definitely going where I want it to because it just doesn't need as much steering or as much human, less of human error or whatever you want to say.
Unless it's our big fixed head.
Yeah, in that case,
then it's just like, wow.
Yeah, it
what am I
actually
doing
has
wrong?
a laser lock beam on it. It's just going to go where you want it to, right?
No.
What is that? What's up with that, dude? Y'all in the broadhead market these days?
Trying to be.
Yeah?
It's mostly because we sell so many arrows and then people put dumb heads on them. And it doesn't
these vectors don't work. Well,
exactly. It's like maybe that was a weird way to set it up. But
that's good.
But it's we want to also offer a guarantee on our product, and it made sense to at least recommend a head that was going to make the arrow do what it was meant to do. Because I believe at this point that the head matters a little more than the arrow that it's on.
Yeah.
And so
it's a good way to
people
sell arrows, man. Good job.
Yeah, I know, right?
Iron doesn't matter.
We've been sending everybody to Iron Will for so long, saying, they're expensive, but you can keep using them over and over. And they have a guarantee on their product for life. And
is it guaranteed to kill?
I'm going to answer that for you.
It's not.
It's not. It's not guaranteed.
It's up to you.
It's up to you.
Or the anatomy of the deer.
But they're expensive, you know. So we set out to make a similar quality head that was more affordable for those customers of ours who are going to go spend.
He's laughing because it sounded like you said quality, like a koala. That's why you're laughing, isn't it?
Quality.
A quality.
A T on a koala.
Qualities. Y'all should also sell those along with your quality.
We will now.
Yeah.
It'll say something about
Vector
the element
arrows
on it.
I could just have a koala on the t-shirt. Vector arrows.
Yeah. It's the quality.
Exactly. The quality is what matters.
We can mess with that.
Dude, yeah, absolutely. That would be sick.
I'll just make some for you guys.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So, when a lot of people are kind of have a routine around picking up heads that are a certain price point. So we wanted to make the best head we could for the best price. And, I think we have a pretty interesting way to do it. We made a really good titanium ferrule. And then there's 3 different size main blades that you can put on it and 3 different size secondary blades. Kind of like a bleeder, but they're real big. Including like a blade delete insert. So you can shoot it as a 2-blade and put the insert in place of the bleeder, and it'll weigh the same. So
yeah, kind of like a dangerous game type head or whatever, like where it's just you're looking for penetration, so you do away with the bleeder.
Yeah. Like, exactly.
That's cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of a build your own broadhead thing.
But it's kind of I don't know. There's a few heads out there with like the design, I guess overarching design of like the concave blade design. I thought that was kind of unique. How'd you end up on that?
Man, there's a bunch of different stuff that goes into that. On the one side, there's a lot of people who would argue that blade shape makes a bigger hole than the actual cutting diameter of the blade. But then also it, first of all, I just get tired of all the marketing speak in this industry where, there's so little that is absolute, so I hesitate to say because it does this. It's like, there's a lot of factors, but we believe that it does more cutting than pushing. of tissue because of that blade angle, and it kind of swoops out. So like I shot kudu points for a while. Like the Simmons Shark is a popular heads that have that concave shape.
The old shuttle T-locks were kind of like that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's intended to do more cutting than wedging, or I guess our engineer would hate that I said wedging.
He'll be okay.
But pushing aside,
Yeah.
like so, and when tissues and fat and stuff get on your head, you can drag some of that stuff through an animal. So you just better to just design it to cut it instead of drag it along.
Yeah. So that concave point kind of makes difficult sharpening, but you've kind of designed it so that that's not a problem. Right?
Yeah, they'll be S7 hardened tool steel blades, but we're able to make them at a price point that just get replacement blades, basically. And I've resharpened them. Yeah, it's annoying.
Yeah.
But
it's like sharpening a chainsaw blade.
It is. Yeah.
Let me tell you all this.
What's
I
that?
think the majority of people that deer hunt shoot one deer a year.
Yeah.
So I don't know if sharpening is as big of an issue for a lot of people.
That's what we were thinking is, if it's a couple bucks to just put a brand new blade on it that's razor sharp, I mean, I'd personally rather do that.
I think if you can get
and then
that
just hang on to my dull ones that have been through a deer for practice.
Yeah.
And then you can actually practice with your broadheads all the time. Like,
it's pretty killer.
I think that is a better value proposition than, like, this is the easiest thing to resharpen. But also, if you want a head that's easy to resharpen, then you might be giving up some edge retention as well. Like, we wanted to make it a very hard blade to dull, and that means it's hard to sharpen too. So
yeah, makes sense.
Easier to just replace it.
Yeah,
so
I think that's a
making it
really neat
accessible
concept
and easy to replace. Was the
because
focus.
I mean, you're getting it somewhat into the premium broadhead market, but not quite at that crazy price point. But at the same time, it's really cool to maintain a blade like that and have those broadheads for $6 a year or whatever. To get new blades. It's pretty sick. Yeah, it's a good idea.
So
Yeah.
It's
So
been a
broadheads are
process.
sold out right now?
They're just not available just yet.
That's what I was thinking. Because I was like, I
Yeah.
looked on the website. I was like, I don't know, but I don't think these are available yet. So you just you're ready
We
to
just
launch.
put it up with the picture.
Ready to
It's coming.
Yeah.
Yep, should
Cool.
have the first big old pallet of them come in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
What are you going to shoot later today?
What are we shooting later today? Turkeys?
Maybe.
What are we
Turkeys and
going later
hogs.
today?
What are you going to put
I
on
think
your
so.
What are you going to put on the end of your ears?
Oh, I brought some. What is it called? The hide from Evolution Outdoors makes a mechanical broadhead that it's a 125. Seems to be good material. Never even shot one. But I picked them up because a friend recommended them and said that they were more durable than most mechanicals, which really is my only fear. Like I don't know. I've kind of done a 180 on a lot of things in the last year or two because I look at the success of all of our customers, and you kind of have a, unofficial.
He means us, by the way.
Well, you guys, I mean, you guys got a lot of it on camera, which is even better. But like so many people who put a variety of mechanical heads on our arrows and are very happy with them.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Kind of didn't match up with my stance, and changed my mind.
The
I guess.
listeners know my testament of this, but shot 3 bucks this year. Shot 2 with mechanicals that died pretty much within sight, and one with an iron wheel that we had to chase across the state. So, it's all situational, like you said. That doesn't mean iron wheel's a bad head, but gosh, dude, it makes you a pretty good believer about stuff. And it's such a interesting thing because, man, none of this even matters, right? On the grand scheme of things, right? If you're thinking eternally, which is a totally different thing.
Nothing
but
else matters.
that's right. But there's no reason to be super polarized about this stuff, right? People have they have this
hate.
Humans have this inert desire to hate, and they sometimes
Sure.
they have to have an outlet for it. So like people have this like
Or to belong to a club.
Yes, exactly,
Right.
man.
Yeah,
they want
for
to feel a part of something. So like
Dude,
the single bevel thing is like, oh,
The most
my gosh.
reaction we've had to a story in the last couple of weeks probably was KC posting a video of his bow being set up, and it was a bow tech, and people are like, "Wow, you're a bow tech!"
You know, it's like, yep, it kills them just like the other bows do, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's just a tool. But so, like, I don't know, people get so polarized about this mechanical versus, you know, fixed blade versus two blade, single bevel, and all that stuff. And quite
Yeah.
honestly, if you're shooting enough energy and enough momentum, then it doesn't really matter,
Right.
Because as long as you have a cutting surface, I wouldn't say shoot a you know, a field point. You can still do that and kill them dead, but you know,
Kill
like,
the mouse
do
with
something
a
smart.
blowgun dart.
Yeah,
So I mean, it can be done.
yeah, absolutely.
But it didn't go through him. So that's
a
different.
weird thing. I killed a rabbit with my recurve in Colorado one time with a blunt too, and that was kind of weird.
Did it go through him?
Yeah, but it was like gruesome. Yeah,
Stop.
it wasn't good. So cutting
So
surface
funny.
is better, right? But,
Yeah, lacerations kill.
Yeah.
You know, not like the shape of a hole, right? But just a bigger hole.
yeah, for
or
sure.
having two holes, you better. You know, if you get pass through.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what I've always said. My goal is a pass through,
Right.
Because especially if you're tree stand hunting or out of a saddle like we do, like the second hole a lot of times is so imperative because your entry hole sometimes is above mid level on a deer. So if you don't get that second hole, you're probably not getting hardly any blood trail.
Right.
That's bad. Unless you hit him in
Right.
the lungs perfectly or whatever and he's bleeding out the mouth. That's a whole. I mean, if you hunt, you kind of know how that works. But overall, two holes is
Yeah.
better than one.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's
I think if
something
you
to
can
it.
get two holes with a mechanical, have at it.
Yeah. What's it take to do that?
Gosh.
What?
Sorry. Nope. Not doing it. Go ahead.
What are you saying?
I'm not going to derail this thing.
What's it take?
I
What's
think it just
take to
takes
have-
enough energy. Like there's a couple studies out there on push force with mechanicals that compare, you know, well designed fixed and well designed mechanical heads. But you know, a good fixed head might take something like 11 to 16 pounds of force to go through hair, hide, meat. You know, but a mechanical sometimes takes over 100 pounds.
Yeah.
So that's fine as long as you just understand you
If you
need
have
to
that.
have some oomph behind
Yeah.
a mechanical, which could either be extreme speeds with a good enough amount of mass, or if you're a low energy shooter, you should probably just shoot a heavier arrow, you know, above 500 grains, and you're probably fine.
Yeah.
And just don't hit big bones.
Yeah.
Take smart shots. It's not a, you know, a crutch that lets you take a dumb shot either.
Yeah.
Because it's
Dude,
not going to cover your butt.
A quarter and away, it's pretty deadly a lot of times.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
At a reasonable range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Responsible range.
Absolutely.
So
Frontal's pretty deadly too.
I took
Seen
a
that.
lot of responsibly ranged shots today,
You did?
all the way out to 93.
You did? 93 yards. What was the hardest shot from today? Greg, you're first.
All of them. Especially with a blow-up shot less than 20 times.
with arrows that were not made for you. Oh my
We
gosh.
set Greg's bow up yesterday. His arrows are like 4 inches too long, and
Maybe more than that. They're hanging way out there.
And then they
bad.
probably weighed a lot, dude. And then he only had a 3-pin sight, and we shot TAC with that. And it was like we were literally. There was times where we were like, "Okay, Greg, seriously, 5 feet over his back. Aim 5 feet over his back.
Maybe 8 feet this time. Yeah.
There's at least one or two I aim 10 feet.
Wow.
That's nuts.
wild.
And you hit the target a decent amount of times.
Yeah,
Like, it was shocking.
It was straight.
Yeah.
yeah. Left and
Straight
right was
left and
good.
right, but-
Left and right was good.
That's hard for us. That's good. I'm glad that you're a confident guy because, like, honestly, it's not a good thing to do to someone. Put them in a situation where they're going to
That could've
miss a
been
whole bunch.
devastating.
Yeah, exactly. You know, so but like you're like, yeah, I know that. Whatever.
Yeah, I knew it was going to be
Yeah.
disaster, but
Greg's put some deer down though, so he
He
knows.
is. That's right, man.
He knows.
Yeah.
shot a few.
Yeah. You. What was your favorite target you shot at?
Trying to think of one I hit. I like shooting at the buck making the scrape. That was
a cool
that
one.
was cool. That was cool.
That was a really good
Yeah.
one.
It was realistic.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll go next before I forget. The pronghorn was my hardest one, I think.
That was hard. Were you
tough.
the one that hit the stick, or was it Isaac?
Yeah,
That's
I
you?
had stick.
I think.
it was
Well,
going
I
good.
did too.
Yeah,
Yeah. We both
You were
did.
the first guy to shoot too. You blasted a stick, dude.
Man, that was just a mean setup. They
Yeah.
try to really punish you on this course.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah.
It was interesting to me to learn like what's happening trajectory wise at long ranges, because out to 50 yards you're kind of fairly flat, right?
Yeah.
So like if your arrow looks like it's tracking good, it's probably going to hit good. Well, so many times today I would release and I'm like, oh, money, right underneath.
Yeah.
And you're like, golly, it's
Yeah.
kind of wild how that happens at those longer ranges.
Sure.
Yeah, I like the big bore for sure.
Yeah,
that's my
cool.
best shot of the day too.
91 yards or something.
Yeah, but
It
that was
was
a big
a
old target.
Very
cool.
big target. It was like a Russian boar thing.
I liked it.
Yeah.
You like
Yeah.
my comment to the bus driver about boars?
Yeah, dude, he didn't have a clue. He's like, yeah, we've been out here boar hunting. Tyler says, there weren't any sows? He said, oh yeah, maybe one. That's hilarious. What was your favorite target?
Oh man. Probably that 100-yard caribou. I mean, just for the 109
Which
yards.
wasn't on the actual course, but we can probably let the people in on what just
Probably
happened out
could.
there.
Let's go.
So what's the situation? Why were we shooting at that caribou?
Yeah, so it's kind of a staple of the Total Archery Challenge experiences. You can pay per arrow to take a lob at 100, and today it was 109 yards. I think just because they couldn't set it up to get 111, but it's normally 111 yard caribou. And if you get in the 12 ring, then your name goes in a hat to draw for a brand new truck.
How big is the 12 ring?
Pretty rad. That one was, the 12 ring is not standard. It kind of depends on, some of those, like the Badger, it was like the size of a ping pong
Yeah.
ball,
Yeah.
right?
It's tiny.
But that caribou was probably
Like
it was probably 4 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a 4 inch.
So you got to hit
target.
in a 4-inch circle at 110 yards or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, and we got there and nobody had hit it yet today. And I got it on my fourth and final arrow that I paid for, and you got it on your
I got it on my third, I believe. Yeah.
And then you were maybe 4 inches outside on your fourth arrow.
Yeah.
So we both took 4 shots and got
Dude, it
one
was
in.
insane.
Yeah,
That was
dude.
so juice, man.
That's pretty stoked about that.
Yeah.
That was
So
cool.
like there will probably be between 70 and 100 people in that
In
draw
the drawing,
for the
yeah.
truck. So you have better than cheap odds probably. One of y'all wins it
That's pretty
Better
good.
than cheap
Yeah.
odds. That's
Better
right.
than some New Mexico odds, honestly.
for elk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was actually
Maybe
really
a new
fun.
truck in the works.
It was like I don't know, it's kind of a
Bug truck.
somewhat surreal experience because you're almost in like a highlighted position standing there shooting at that
Yeah,
thing.
everybody's watching
Everybody's
you.
watching,
Yeah.
And especially my first arrow because everybody's ready to go pull arrows and that guy's like, no, shoot one. I'm like, okay.
Everybody's watching, yeah.
Everybody's watching me.
75 people
I know.
staring at you.
All the way down the practice range
Yeah.
line. Yeah.
And then I shot pretty good on that one, but I just kind of hit low. But it was like so I've got a new black gold sight. They like just came back into stock. They got me one, which I was really excited about. But I still only have like 104 yards of tape, so I'm like kind of guessing. And then I kind of like you, I got my point picked out. I was like, okay, if I aim at that right there, I'm gonna be real close.
Yeah.
And I was aiming like right at the tip top of one of those crowns on that caribou, and
Right.
it was pretty much in there.
Sure.
I think if I would, I'm not trying to be pompous, but I just had it figured out, right? So, I think if I'd sit there and spend another $100, I think I would have hit a couple more times.
Yeah. I feel that way too.
Yeah. Don't want to be frivolous, right?
Right.
We
What are
discussed
the
the
odds?
meanings of those two words the other day. You know what I mean? You and I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Our boy Chris B's won it twice.
Yeah.
And I think they don't let him shoot it anymore or something.
That's why I had it set up the way it was today, where you had to be kind of taller to see the caribou.
Oh, gosh, dude.
I think one year, though, he wasn't even shooting, right? It was his buddy used his bow and got it in.
Oh,
So
Travis did it?
Because so it's all about the bow with him. He is not actually a shot. It's just his bow is a good shot.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's it.
I think
Might
so.
be
Maybe
it.
we should all shoot Matthews.
We need an ultra view rest.
Get
Is
you
what we need.
guys in trouble now.
No, dude.
Nah, I've shot a Matthews. It's a pretty good bow, but I like that bow tech I was shooting today.
They're all so good now.
Yeah,
it's
man.
Like, what's? Yeah, I don't
That's
even
right.
care.
We actually had 4 different bow manufacturers between all of us today, and we all shot
Equally
and-
bad.
Yeah, you actually you whooped up on us, but I think you've been shooting a little more than us. Have you?
I mean, how much do you shoot?
I probably haven't shot my bow since you and I spot and stalked hogs in February, I guess, or March, early
I'll probably
March.
shoot, intentionally once every 2 weeks.
Yeah, a little more than me.
It's been a busy season though, so
I've been waiting on the new bow to come in, so I hadn't
Yeah.
shot mine very much.
Me too.
I know it's out of tune, watching it in slow motion, shooting hogs and stuff in February, but it shot pretty good today. Mm-hmm. I mean,
Yep.
there's a lot of human error involved
That's
in that
the
whole
thing
thing.
with the course like that. I mean, 25 targets on our course, so you're going to have like the whole premise of it is like uneven terrain and unique
uphill,
shots and
downhill,
stuff. So you're not
through
gonna-
the brush.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not a Vegas 5-spot or whatever it's called,
Sure.
right? So it's like every shot's a little different. So you end up with wobbly arrows and different things because you're just trying stuff out, and it's
Sure.
by no means a what's Liver King say a simulated hunt, right? But
Yeah.
it is like
Looking out.
yeah.
Looking out.
It is. That's what I should have done when I hit the caribou and just
Oh,
been looking
gosh,
out and
yeah.
just left.
Looking out.
But it is a little bit more realistic of like what you're going to do, like say chasing elk in New Mexico or something, where you're like
Yeah.
kind of on the rocks and doing stuff, and which I really enjoy.
No wonder
that.
we ain't drawn to Mexico. You keep throwing that name out there.
I'm just trying to
You
tell
need to come
people
up with a different
there
state.
ain't no reason to try.
It's kind of like hunting elk in Oregon.
That's right.
No, Washington. Sorry, Isaac.
Washington.
Yeah, that's what we're going to start saying now. That way we can
Oh, I
send
gotcha.
people to Washington.
Yeah.
to hunt elk.
Right.
Yeah.
Tennessee,
So
there's a lot of
many elk in
Tennessee,
Washington.
Kentucky has
Yeah.
a good elk
Kentucky,
population.
yeah,
Y'all should
absolutely.
definitely put in for Kentucky.
Yeah, for sure.
People draw that all the time.
What
Every year, actually.
Who faced the most unique challenge today that they didn't see coming? I mean, I know yours you probably saw
Aside
it
from
coming.
having
Mine was very challenging.
your
Yeah,
bow, yeah, that was
Yeah.
rough.
Otherwise,
My rangefinder was 2 yards off, so I had to go with Isaac's range all day, which ended up being high as well. So it's like, I don't really know for sure. I think that was a difficult thing. Was
the
like,
thing with rangefinders is you have to match them to your bow almost.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
kind of like
which is fine. It
Yeah.
works as long as you do it from the sight tape
Yep.
till you kill something.
that's
pretty
right.
much.
Yeah,
But
yeah. What about you?
I don't know. I mean, I think as I shoot more, I get a little tired, and I start to hit lower and more left because I let my bow arm drop away, and it's kind of a lazy habit to want to be able to see your arrow hit versus just following through.
Yeah.
So, I started off way stronger than I finished.
That's good.
So
It's always better. It's kind of it stinks
Yeah.
anything you do to kind of have a letdown at the end.
I
you
missed
know?
the first 2 targets.
Dude, when I missed the first target, I was like, "Oh no!"
The second one was the easiest shot of the day. It felt like
I
It's
know.
like 41 or
I
something.
think, when you lost your first 2 arrows, we were all a little nervous.
Yeah.
That maybe Tyler's not going to finish this course.
Yeah, that's right. They were pretty nervous. But I picked it up after that.
You
did,
shot better
yeah.
than me on the foam, I think for sure.
I was fixing to
You were crushing
catch
it
up with
towards
Isaac,
the
and then he
end.
started.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah,
12
Isaac
ring
actually
with-
kept score.
When I 12
He's
ringed,
good enough to do
Isaac
that.
12 ringed.
That's right.
Skunks and stuff.
Yep,
That was a fun target.
that was cool.
Yeah.
I've got chickens, so I've been protecting the coop for a while, and that's why I was so good on that skunk.
Is that it?
Nice.
Yeah.
Been shooting little varmints.
I'd like to go
nest
out there
predators.
with a shotgun and buckshot and take those shots and just see how that would go. That'd be pretty
I
fun.
bet you could hit something.
I bet I could too. I'd like to see what that thing does at 93 yards.
Speaking of
kill one.
protecting chickens, have you guys seen on YouTube and stuff like these guys with minks that will
Fight stuff.
fight rats and stuff, or like kill rats? They'll there's a
cool.
whole channel, I forget what it's called. Pretty sure it'd be easy to find.
Have
But
it.
he just has like these pet mink that he'll just like set loose under a barn or something with a rat problem, and they just film like dozens of rats just like pouring out of a hole. And
Joseph
then,
Carter, the Mink Man.
Yeah, it's extremely entertaining. I thought for sure you guys had
got
seen
like
this.
cameras under the floor and stuff.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can see these mink just go to
Is it
town
millions
on a
of views?
rat.
16 million in a
Wow.
year.
Yeah.
In 1 year.
Yeah,
Have I not seen
oh
this?
my gosh, dude.
I figured you had come across that.
No.
This has got to be
pretty
like
wild.
English or in England or something, doesn't it?
I'm pretty sure he's in America.
Really? These are England-looking rats, and this guy's an
England-looking
England-looking
dude,
guy.
for sure.
Oh, shit.
But there's a mountain back there. Those aren't in England. So.
That's Swiss Alps, I think.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I can't remember what his voice sounds like, but I watch it on mute when my family's sleeping. So
Hey,
there
this
you go.
This is grody. Ooh, there he is with 412 rats.
Yeah. They just line it up like a trap line picture,
It's like those hunting videos. 412 rats in 3 minutes. Kill shots. It's cool, dude. Thanks for enlightening me.
Yeah, there you go. You guys have chickens. Get
Yeah.
you some mink now.
That's what I need.
Oh, there's a mink fur harvesting process. It's amazing mink farming technique.
I bet
Look at all them dead
Joseph
minks.
doesn't like that too much. Those are white minks.
I know. Winks.
That's weird. Yeah. We didn't get shooting minks today. That's kind of sad.
No, we didn't.
You know what else we didn't shoot was elk. They didn't have a single elk.
There's one at the target range, but
Yeah.
not on
Not on the whole course.
Can't believe that.
That's kind of weird.
That's
It
how
just
they made it
occurred to
hard.
me.
They were putting whitetail hill country does out there and stuff.
Wait, did we not have a miniature elk we shot at? I know there's a
I
miniature
think you're
moose.
right.
Moose.
Miniature moose.
Well,
Yeah.
I remember
And
that,
a
but I
miniature
thought-
caribou.
That's might be what I'm thinking about. Is a miniature
Yeah.
caribou.
Dude, that moose was like, if it was a real moose, it would have weighed like 50 pounds.
It was like the size of a golden retriever.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tiny.
Not even that big, maybe.
Maybe not.
That's
Makes it
frustrating.
kind of
dude.
tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's pretty fun though. I
was
mean,
a lot of fun.
I don't know. I'm really thankful to get to go to TAG. I'd like to do this again sometime. I think it's pretty cool.
I think it would be easier to spend a whole weekend doing it in the mountains or something.
Montana or
We were
something.
talking about,
Yeah.
but we shot one course and then we get to go kill stuff for real.
Yeah. That's
hunt
a little bit
minks.
more intriguing to me for sure. Minks,
Yeah.
you said?
Yeah.
So we were walking around out there today, and you were telling us some of stuff Vector's got coming down the pipe. How much of that stuff
Yeah.
can you talk about?
Zero.
No, like it's a little past idea phase. We're starting to really work on this stuff and build things, and data is just so important in our world today. And
Oh, I didn't know you were going to go all in on that one. Okay.
I don't know what else you're asking about.
Well, like the fletching and
That's where I was with
Yeah.
Isaac. I thought that's where you were going.
No.
Yeah.
There's a lot then.
Yeah.
If you want
Yeah.
to talk about all that stuff, I mean, but on the data side, like we have this algorithm that has been getting better and better that builds an arrow that will tune well out of your bow, right? But we use our customers' data to make it better and better. So there's a lot of data points we can collect from now thousands and thousands of people who we've built arrows for.
yeah.
Including now we need info on what bow model you're using, because that has come up with certain support issues and things like that, because we talk to a lot of customers who have this weird issue. Turns out everybody with this weird issue, or 85% of them, shoot a PSC of a certain model, and we figure out how to fix it, and then the arrow builds a little different next time for that bow. So it's kind of implementing some machine learning, I guess, and some constant improvement. Should
Can you
always
tap
be
into
the
Google
goal.
and just let them tell you all the information? Because they know everything about us, right?
They know where I've been
They
today
do.
for sure.
Yeah, I guess. I hope they don't know that much about us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some improvement happening, and
What about...
but
See if I've
also
got it in my pocket.
you said the machine, like we I'll start at the beginning, I guess, because it's hilarious to me. The 2 years ago, Vector was just me, and I thought it would allow me a lot more scale with a small team in the short run if we had a machine that could fletch arrows, right? Because that takes so much time. It's the majority of the time on an arrow build is just fletching arrows with bits and burgers, and at the time I think I was literally doing it like in my basement or something. But went and got a quote from 3 firms that do manufacturing robotics stuff, and one of them was just over $1 million. One was $400,000 and one was $250,000. And at that point,
Some variance.
Yeah, it was crazy. And we talked with the firm that gave the lowest quote for, over a year, trying to figure out how it would work and things, and never, paid them $1. But ended up making our own machines in-house with Ben on our team and Brad. Ben is a software guy, but, very competent, hands-on,
savvy,
creative guy.
He's savvy dude.
And Brad is a mechanical engineer. And they just Jimmy rigged it. I think less than $5,000 we built 2 machines that fletch an arrow perfectly every time in a
less
minute.
than $5,000?
Yeah, dude.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Literally just extruded aluminum off of Amazon and 3D printed stuff. We have a couple of 3D printers that, are also extremely cheap. You can get a 3D printer for $240 that will do about anything you want it to, unless you need to print something large, which we didn't need to. So
that's cool.
Kind of nuts. I mean, it took forever, but nothing's hand fletched anymore, basically. So we're on a little more precise level, and it's just helped, mitigate a lot of issues that come with hand building things. It's still run by a person. It's not like you can just dump a bunch of shafts in a big vat and it spits out done arrows. It's still manual, but it's
What about any other parts of the arrow? You at liberty talk about that?
Yeah, we went and rebuilt the insert components. The HMR up till now has been available with the ethics components, but those left a lot to be desired, and people would often, I'll say it this way, people rarely broke the HMR. It's a very durable shaft.
Yeah.
But, I mean, those inserts just bent like crazy.
Greg bent a few of them today. Now, granted, we were hitting rocks, so,
Yeah.
But, a lot of room for improvement.
Yeah.
So part of it was going to better materials, and part of it was going to better design. But also we wanted to make it possible to build an HMR arrow lighter, so we needed way lighter components. So that means going to a 1-piece component instead of 2 pieces with an insert and an outsert. And anyway, we kind of figured out a way to build our, wish list of upgrades into a 1-piece component. And that's what we call it, the OPC.
All right, dude.
1-piece component.
Y'all
I
like
love
acronyms.
stuff like that, dude.
Yeah.
Me and KC like acronyms too.
Oh, yeah, dude. We use them all the time, especially
Cool.
if it's a 3-letter one.
Yep.
We are, if there's 3 words, we always oh, you mean the OBB or whatever it is?
Big old buck. What's a bob?
Bob?
Well, maybe you got some ideas for us for these broadheads then, because we've got the HMR, which is the heavy arrow. We've got the ZMR, which is kind of a middleweight, lightweight arrow. And then we've got the OPC is the 1-piece component that's going to be on both those arrow systems. What about this broadhead that you can change the blades on? We've got some ideas, but I want to hear yours first.
Man, you always want me to do these things on spot.
The Evolution broadhead.
Evolution. evolution. Instead, there's already an evolution.
is there?
A tough head evolution.
Oh, I don't know. Do you think I know that?
It's a giant single bevel 200 grain head.
Right up your alley.
Yeah.
Just like what you always tell
200
us to
grain?
use.
That's on the light side for what I'm looking for, actually.
Call it the bop. The broadhead of Providence. That would be cool. I'd like that. The bop.
Sounds like
there's like kind of
from 1954.
That's right.
variable blades, right?
Yeah.
There's I don't know. We talk. There's two ways we got to the VBS, which I think is so funny. Vacation Bible School.
Yeah.
Not safe for VBS. No, but the vector broadhead system. Because we can create new blades for it that go on the same ferrule.
Yeah. But
it could be an ongoing thing, or the variable blade system.
Yeah, that's probably better because there might be other designs somewhere along the way too. Right?
We did already make a one-piece machined 3-blade.
Yeah,
that is it'll be ready to sell at the same time as the VBS. But
is it the VBS? Is it going to end up being the VBS?
Man, I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like
we can't wait till the last minute on these things.
Yeah,
because that's just I mentioned this a minute ago, but like, can we stop with all the marketing that's like, this will make you the most lethal predator on the planet? This is goofy.
It is,
right? I don't know.
It is.
That bugs me.
There's this thing where when somebody sets a floor, not a ceiling, you have to at least get on the floor.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Even
so hard
more
in the
lethal.
marketing world. Yeah, it's so hard in the marketing world to be like, it's pretty good.
I know. That's it's kind of like the angle that we are kind of taking by default. It's like, this is, better than what you're going to get at that price. It's like,
yeah.
I'm sure people will do reviews on YouTube and stuff and be like, this is the best or whatever. But I don't know. It just depends what you put it up against. Like, we are using the best materials we can get, and we're trying to get it as sharp as possible.
I like it.
It's going to be pretty darn good. I'm not going to say it's going to make you the most lethal bow hunter on the planet.
A lot of other factors in there.
There's a lot of factors there.
You have
to not suck at hunting.
I appreciate that a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's what, when K.C. and I first started doing the podcasting thing, there was so many podcasts out there. Not necessarily that the podcasts were run by these people, but these people are being interviewed on podcasts too that are talking deer tactics. And it's the same concept of it absolutely is this way. Well, if you set your stand up on this island or whatever in this tree and it's going to be this way or whatever.
Yeah.
And, when it comes down to it, a lot of guys really struggle to actually in detail help people to understand why that is their absolute.
Yeah.
And so we're like, man, but it doesn't really always work that way. And deer don't always do the same thing. If they did, it wouldn't be that fun. And maybe that's why some of these guys are not sounding like they're having much fun when they're being interviewed. I don't know.
They just say, no.
But it's just like one of those things that I appreciate about you, man. That's I think it's an example of your character that you would have the integrity to just be like, look, there's so many variables in a deer hunting scenario that we're not about to say that this is going to make you the most lethal predator out there, but we're trying to help you out a big portion of the general public with something that we think can help people be better.
It's kind of like how we talk about stuff where, I can't tell you this is the best broadhead ever made or whatever, but I can tell you that we like it and we shoot it and we kill stuff with it, and you just kind of take that as is, and I don't know. That's
what makes you a good killer is experience. I mean, bar none.
For sure.
If you have shot 300 deer, you will have a really good idea of what you're supposed to do in the next scenario.
And you know what's weird? What people don't understand too is that it's okay if all 300 of those deer were outfitted or whatever, because you're still getting the experience.
Yeah.
You know, like I followed Tom Miranda the other day. Mm-hmm. Dude has a sick Instagram page, by the way, because he does a lot of like hunting history on there. Mm-hmm. But like Tom Miranda, you know, North American million animal killer or whatever it is, like, and I don't know this, but I assume he outfitted quite a bit of that stuff because it's pretty hard to travel the country and do that. Mm-hmm. And guess what? He's still a bad to the bone killer. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So like the experience is there. Yeah. It doesn't really matter that much how you did it. You know, I get like you can't shoot a tied up one.
That's
you know,
what
but
me and Greg were talking about actually on the way over here. It's like, man, I mean, so you could buy. Listen, I'm not going to say the state, but a tag and 16 for $20,000. If you wanted to buy a elk tag for $20,000, just for the tag, right? You can hunt public or you can hunt private. Either way, if you want to hunt private, you're probably going to spend a little bit more. So essentially, if you're a millionaire, you can go do things like that, but it doesn't make that elk necessarily any easier to get after, right?
Yeah.
And so I'll say this: I've been on a couple of outfitted hunts as a camera guy, sheep hunts and stuff. Dude, there is no way to do those without an outfitter.
No,
almost none. I mean, it's so impractical, especially for businessmen who have their own business where they're making money. You know what I mean? Like we need to go do this in 10 days if we can, because then we need to get back to work, you know, or whatever.
Sure.
And so if this guide has an idea where the sheep hang out, we're still climbing the mountain. We're still making the shot. We're still, you know, struggling to sleep at night in grizzly country and all this stuff, you know. And so it's, I don't know. Everything doesn't have to be so polarized. And that's just like the climate we live in right now, where everything is so terrible. It's like it's either CNN is the worst or Fox News is the best or whatever. And it's like, is it really that way, or are these people just, you know, like taking everything and making it so just sensationalized that everybody wants to get fired up about it?
It's funny how, and I don't hold this against anybody because maybe it's just a question people ask, but like, I shot that bird in Iowa. I bet I've been asked 10 times if it was on public or private.
Yeah.
And it's like, let me tell y'all something. I had to sit just as still for that private land bird as you do for a public land bird.
We probably heard more gobbles on public.
Yeah.
But they were difficult.
Yeah.
But that's, I mean, we weren't hunting very far from the road.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, just
it is what it is.
It is what it is, man.
It's, I mean, it's just funny that that's a thing that people think about. And I probably, you know, in a different set of shoes, might ask that too. And probably a lot of it is like opportunity based, where it's like, could I go do that? Is that on public? You know, or whatever. At least that's kind of how I'd like to look at it. You know, I don't think less of someone because they ask that, but it's just kind of weird how like that polarization is almost intrinsic in what we do, because it's just the way our minds work as humans. We're trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And within that figuring out, you end up taking sides.
I think there's a lot of middle ground that people don't realize is there in most situations.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Anyway, I just appreciate that about you and what you're trying to do.
Thanks, man.
And just the gathering of data that you're working on. And
that was the whole idea. Yeah, it's like I don't want to base what we build and sell and, you know, guarantee based on my experience or beliefs, which are changing, right? And it should be based on as large of a collection of experiences as possible. So that's where,
ideally,
we
you're
dream
still
of
learning,
publishing reports and things about this stuff, like you know, and not just with our customers, but you know, eventually have a way for anyone who's, you know, a bow hunter to enter data points about their experience, right, and what works and
how does
what doesn't. I don't know.
What you want to do is like you want to find the animal when you shoot it with a bow, right? That's like the end goal. So if we can help anybody do that, that's pretty good for just the activity of hunting. You know?
If you look at like Ashby, we talked about the Ashby stuff today a little bit. Like it's really dated, you know, not applicable to modern bow hunting.
Can you
with
explain that a little bit to people who don't know what the Ashby stuff is?
Yeah, so the Dr. Ed Ashby was a guy who did a lot of hunting with traditional gear, and he took meticulous notes for decades on penetration and things like that. And when he started out, I want to say in the 70s, bow hunting was not legal in most of the world. And his notes and his arguments for, bow hunting being a viable and ethical method for killing animals, that it led to the legalization of bow hunting in like most of Africa, Russia, like all over the world, so very, very effective in that sense. But it wasn't a super objective study. There was a lot of data points that should have been included that were excluded, things like that just, it's a guy with, it was a guy with a notebook, and he was a very smart guy. But and now a lot of people are trying to translate his findings into a modern era with compound bows and stuff, and it's just like total overkill.
He did all it with a longbow, pretty much.
Yeah, it was all longbow, not crazy high poundage or anything either. So, and he's shooting rhinos, African game. So, I don't know. It was kind of poorly translated into a modern era, and so we need a new collection of data. Basically. A modern era of.
That's how you would say it.
That's how I'd say it for sure.
So, that's who Ashby was. But there's a lot of talk on the internet too about like heavy arrows and stuff, and I guess it works. I mean, heavy arrows, they just blow through everything.
Yeah.
Which fits a style of hunting. But
I experienced that this last season. I talked about it to a long extent.
Sure.
Shot 600 grains, which is, we all know, pretty much overkill.
Plenty.
But dadgummit, the arrows went where I wanted them to, and
it just works,
things died, man.
Sure.
Yeah.
And with the mechanical, it should give you all the experience.
This guy was a nice guy. Right? So if he listens, we're not making fun of you, man, but it's just funny to see different people's perspectives on things, right? But I just hit the caribou in 12 ring. So it's stoked, right? And he was like looking at my setup, trying to figure out how he's going to hit the caribou too.
Yeah, he was trying to figure out, where'd you hold and kind of what your range was on your tape and everything.
And he's like, oh, I told him where I held on the caribou, and he's like, oh, what's your airspeed? And I told him 278, and he was like, oh, okay. And he was like, kind of like, oh,
so I'm shooting 300
shooting 300, yeah. And then we were walking back, and I wasn't going to push the issue because I was like, whatever, I just shot the caribou, I don't care. Tyler, on the other hand,
he said, I'm shooting 300 feet per second, but then he also said, but I'm shooting a super heavy arrow.
No, I asked him, I said, how, or maybe you did. Maybe, I don't know.
No, he said he was shooting a heavy arrow, so I asked him.
I asked him, I said, how heavy is your arrow? He said, heavy.
That's right.
Yeah. And I was like, okay.
And in KC, I couldn't do it because I knew KC was thinking I had to say something.
And you were like, so like 500 grains, or and he's like, no, not that heavy. It's like, man,
target archery, man,
dude. Just everybody's perspective on what heavy is so different.
It's so relative.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
but I've said this before too. But like, there's a couple years where I shot probably like close to 600, 550, 600, something like that, with sharp fixed blade. And dude, it was like, there was a couple of shots that I shot at deer that I was having to put all my force to get them out of the ground, the arrow out of the ground that blew through.
Sure.
And so like, I don't know, I feel like right now I shot 525 this year total.
Yeah.
And with a big three blade mechanical, and it went pass through on everything. And like, that's what I need. I don't need it to be sticking in the ground on the other side.
Yeah.
And if it did that on 4 deer this year of different sizes, including some big ones, like, then it's pretty dialed, I feel like. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, I mean, obviously, I didn't hit a shoulder blade or nothing, really. But, like, I did shoot top to bottom through a Nebraska deer straight down on him.
Yep.
I mean, it went through the sternum and full exit, So
there you go.
It's like, I think that's where people maybe, like Hunter says this. He says everybody's out there preparing for the worst shot of their life when we should just try to make really good shots. Like Isaac said at the beginning of this thing, like make good ethical shots and try to, and obviously sometimes
and gain
it will
experience,
end up be bad.
like you said, experience kills.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then he goes,
it teaches you where to shoot and where to aim and everything.
He goes and makes one of the worst shots of his life in South Dakota on the deer he missed.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I love cracking on Hunter when he's not here. So and I only do that because he made me walk through cactus with my boots off
Yeah,
that
that's
day.
true.
So
That's true.
yeah, that's the only reason. But yeah, man, just like you were talking about earlier, like make good shots.
Yeah.
It's another great thing that TV did for you there.
Let's take our boots off. Yeah. That's actually a really good lesson. Like, there's something to learning from the experiences of others, but don't learn from the fabricated experiences of others. And that's what like, outdoor TV is a lot.
Sometimes,
you know. And there's good shows and bad shows, whatever.
Here's the deal. Y'all walked up barefooted to try to shoot that deer. I walked in there crashing with boots on and could not get him out of his bed till I was 8 yards
That's
from him.
right.
And like, you know, it's
Did you
just,
say 8 yards?
Oh,
Yeah, he almost stepped on the deer.
Yeah,
Like, it was
I
insane.
was from here to the door from him before he got jumped up.
Yeah. I bet that was scary when he jumped up.
I was like, is he in here? I saw him bed, but I don't know.
We were
Like,
seeing you thinking that it was over, you
Yeah.
know? We're like, crap, where'd he go? I guess he slipped out of here on us or whatever.
Wow.
But, yeah, kind of wild.
So funny.
Yeah. But we're going to go do some hunting today, right? You've killed what in Texas?
7 hogs.
Yeah?
Yeah. In
That's
the
a
last
lot.
That's a good number.
year.
You're a killer.
Well, 6 of them was in the same 15 minutes.
You do that all with a bow?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
It was honestly very easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was at a ranch in Sunset, Texas.
Yeah.
And just big old pile of corn up in a raised box blind. I don't think they could hear my bow at all. Mm-hmm. Just one little window open. It's all on camera.
How do you
on
feel
YouTube.
hunting over bait since you like
For
didn't-
pigs, fine.
But deer would make you
great.
kind of weird?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just personally. It's a culture thing.
It
Yeah,
is.
sure.
100%.
That's why I asked you. You know, we
Yeah.
grew up with it being the norm, you
Right.
know? So,
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me that like some people are weird about it. What kind of bothers me is people that don't. Like you said,
When
it's a
they're
culture thing. They
turds
don't
about
quite
it.
understand it, and
Yeah.
then they like advocate for not having it be that way. You know.
If it was legal in Wisconsin, I'd probably get over it and use it.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. You know, I think that's, regardless of what people say, that's probably what most people would do.
Do you know that
Right.
Ted Nugent's mentality on the corn stuff? Have you ever
No,
heard him
I
talking
haven't.
about it?
Oh, I get it.
Dude, he's like,
Ted's almost there, man. He's almost
dude,
there.
he's always almost there. He's like, so you're telling me I can't take the corn from over there in that field and put it over here? You know, it's pretty funny. It's a good point.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That is a good point.
I don't know. You know, we do it in states where you can, and don't do it in states where you
But
can.
here's the deal, David.
Right.
If it you know, like just your experience while hunting is within legal means is what you want it to be. So
Yeah.
do it that way. You know what I
There
mean?
you go.
So
There's
whatever it
also,
is.
it's just another area where there's so many variables. I mean, it's a management style, right? You know, and there are people who know more than me about wildlife management who are running the show. So
Yeah, I don't know. Technically, corn doesn't do too much nutritionally for animals. You know, like a corn pile. So it's really just bait, pretty much.
yeah,
So as far as
Carbs.
management goes, it gives them carbs when they're cold. You know, it's kind of supplemental, but it really doesn't like feed a population, right? So like,
It's a seed oil.
So is there-
yeah, it's terrible for them. Alpha toxins, but that is funny. I love to laugh at outdoor TV. We're like, this good old organic meat, and it's like, you're telling me that Roundup they sprayed on that corn that they ate is, you know, y'all don't know how this works. Anyways, the management from it is like knowing like what your harvest should be or take is my
Right.
preferred word. But like, you know, if you need to take 3 does off your property, corn makes it a whole lot easier to do that. You know, so
Yeah.
it works pretty good.
sure.
I don't know, but so we're gonna try to get you a different Texas animal
Oh,
tomorrow or
turkey.
tonight, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be fun.
yeah.
That'd be cool.
The old Rio.
Never shot a Rio.
They're pretty cool. They're smaller than Easterns. I figured that out this year.
They
really
say they're
good.
easier to hunt than Easterns, but they weren't that way the other day when I went for them.
Man,
That's for sure.
I think that is a very subjective thing
I
to
do
say.
too.
I think that like localized population levels are different for every turkey. Because I don't know. There's some Easterns out there that I think are pretty easy, and there's some Rios I think are pretty hard, and there's the vice versa of it as well. Y'all have turkeys at the wazoo, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of turkeys.
Yeah.
In Wisconsin. Southern Wisconsin. A lot of turkeys.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go around the room. Talk the hunt that you want to do the worst. Start with KC. The most, not the worst. That's a negative context way to say that.
Negative or something. Yeah, that's kind of weird. So, my most desired hunt. Is that what you're saying?
Sure.
Okay. Probably Alaska doll sheep. I think that's where I'm at, and this changes from time to time. But right now, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Who's next? Who's ready?
For me, as of right now, it's probably just any bull elk that I can shoot on public land.
Yeah.
It might change later on in life, but for right now,
Or private
that's
land,
it.
right?
I mean, I'll take private land, but
It's kind of hard to come by.
that's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Isaac?
Also, I might have to just say Greg's probably right. My next bull elk is probably my most desired. Realistically desired.
Yeah. Elk would be dope.
Yeah.
I've tried for the last 2 years now, and it's just hard. Got on elk many, many times, and it's just a different game.
What about something you haven't done?
Experience. Probably moose.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Man, yeah.
I wanna do that real bad. I want thick country, close quarters, big old Yukon
Calling them in.
moose.
Big old grizzly bear in your face.
That's probably my number 2.
Grizzly bear would probably be number 2 for me.
Really?
Really?
But yeah, what's number 1 for you, Tyler?
The moose is up there, but I think my number 1 would be this will never happen. A Montana bighorn.
Oh man,
So
That'd be cool.
because I don't know a ton about it, but you can shoot some bighorns in southern BC, but they're really hard to. They have to have like 3/4 curl or something, and you can hunt them out of there. Like they have a pretty good road system, I think, for like oil country and stuff.
Gotcha.
And anyway, apparently a lot of them get shot by locals, and that are so they have like a ton that are just right there. That's what I understand. And then Alberta, it seems like that mine is where a lot of the big tanks are, and it's kind of like almost like I don't know, fly fishing the San Juan, where you're just like shoulder to shoulder with dudes trying to catch giant fish on tiny flies. You're just waiting on them to cross over from the mine to the public land, and it's kind of like it's a little weird. So like to me, really a bighorn in the lower 48 is kind of the goal. Like something that
cool.
I could do on, get out there and just chase them on public land and feel like they're not like some kind of pet sheep that gets photographed all the time or whatever.
That's cool. Yeah.
Do you guys have any desire at all to do something outside the U.S. other than Canada?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. We've been talking about Africa a little bit lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be super fun.
We have been looking in Africa quite a bit actually lately. I don't think I really want to go to New Zealand. That's like something a lot of people do and want to do.
I was just gonna say that. I think that's where I'd want to go.
Is it?
Yeah.
I would fish New Zealand actually, I think.
I want to
You'd have to do both. That's for sure.
Yeah.
somewhere where the fallow roar is going. I would like to go do that.
Stag.
That would be cool.
No, the fallow deer.
Do they roar too?
Yeah.
They call it a roar?
They call it a roar, yeah.
I thought that was just a stag thing.
No, I
Shows what I
think
know.
it's like a European way of describing a rut, right?
Gotcha.
But they do roar, or whatever. But they, I follow some guys from Australia that do it, and it looks pretty sick. So
Man.
I would like to go do that.
Those fallow are just mesmerizing too.
Yeah, they're pretty.
Such a
They're cool.
cool looking critter.
They are, man. They're a little bit prehistoric looking. It's pretty
Yeah.
neat.
I think I think some of the sheep over in like the what's that mountain range? Blanking on it. Biggest mountains in the world.
Himalayan.
Himalayans. All those sheep
Marco
over in that area.
Polos and
Yeah.
stuff.
I think all those Argali or whatever they're all over. Man, that would be cool. But I don't think I'll ever do it because it's just A, it's really expensive. B, it's like some of those are like if you watch like Jim Shockey, he's like traveling like 4 days to get there. So you're talking about like over a week of travel just to get there and back. And then also, like, I heard a story one time about a guy who went over there hunting and went out. I don't know where I heard this story, But when they went up to like go try to find sheep the next day or whatever, once they got there, him and the guy did. When they came back to camp, there was a bunch of beheaded like workers.
I know who told that story.
Who was it?
Dallas Haymeyer. No, not ringing a bell.
No, but
did I tell you this story?
Maybe you told me.
Maybe Dallas Haymeyer he films a lot of international hunts, and he was camera guy on this hunt. I think it was in Mongolia or something like that. Yeah, and it was the week before they got there that the hunters were out. You know, they have to carry all this, money. It's all cash, tens of thousands of dollars, and bandits kind of show up randomly, and there's a fight, and they win and take all the cash, and it's crazy.
Insane, dude. I don't know if that's really the risk I want to take.
Like you're saying, you're several days travel from anyone who could stop them, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
I don't know. It's you make mistakes throughout life, man. You do things that you shouldn't do and stuff, but like I think that, I don't know, a lot of the time when I do things now, especially, I think like not even for my sake really as much as like I just know that I value like having a dad, for still having a dad, right? And like the things that I've learned from my dad, even now as old as I am, Yeah. And like I wouldn't want my kids to be 6 and 10 years old and not have a dad anymore. You know what I mean? So like I just think I'm like probably should just play the conservative card here a little bit.
Yeah.
And then
did you call that your trump card?
I said conservative, right? So
yeah.
Is that like fiscally or?
Dallas Haymeyer's got some stories. I guess he was in Tanzania, and he had an elephant gun, like a 500 something or other, blow up in his face, and then they got him on a helicopter to go to the hospital, and the helicopter went down in a river.
Oh my goodness!
Or something
in a
crazy.
River.
Well, they had enough control to
good
go
way for a crocodile to eat you over there.
Yeah, or a hippo just
something like
it.
that. I mean, I think that was on the Black Rifle podcast. He was telling that story. It's
wild,
crazy. Man. Just like, man, I don't know what you're getting paid to film these hunts, but probably not enough.
Yeah, no kidding.
No kidding.
Well, that's pretty cool. You just actually got a call from the guy we're supposed to be meeting to go hunting with. Good. So I think it's a good time to wrap her up. Isaac, thanks for coming down and do this stuff with us, man.
Thank you.
Greg, thanks for being here with us and
thanks for
kind
having
of getting after it. You're pretty good behind that old lens, man. We're glad to have you. So
pretty good shooter, too.
Y'all remember not take things too seriously and don't be too polarized. And remember, this is your elephant.
Live in it. Elephant.
The new Meat Eater Outdoor Cookbook Wild Game Recipes for the Grill, Smoker, Campfire, and Camp Stove is out on April 24th and is available for pre-order now. Here is your book for everything that's best cooked or eaten outside. From grilling to open fire cooking to Dutch ovens to smokers to barbecue to backpacking meals to how to pull off the perfect fish fry, with pit stops along the way for lessons about Ice Age cooking methods and the best 5 ways to construct a cooking fire you can be proud of. And of course, we're focusing on wild game and fish here with over 100 recipes, including stuffed venison burgers 3 ways, wild duck with ahi verde sauce, a jerky made with cola, a gin and tonic made with fire-charred lemons, and grilled frog legs made with a sticky sweet sauce. This ain't your normal cookbook, so be prepared to be surprised. Pre-order your copy now. For more info, visit themeateater.com.